On two of the many occasions that Trump was pretending that his crowd sizes were large, he compared them to Hitler's crowd sizes. In an article published years before Trump ran for president, before there would be any possible reason for someone to do a politically motivated hit job on him, Trump's ex-wife Ivana told the reporter that a Trump employee would click his heels and say Heil Hitler when he visited Trump in his office. Maybe that was just a joke. In any case, the reporter confronted Trump with information that she had gathered, that Trump had received a book of Hitler's speeches titled My New Order. Trump replied that he didn't get Hitler's speeches book, but instead got a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf from his friend Marty Davis, who Trump said was Jewish. Mein Kampf is not a collection of speeches, but instead an autobiographical manifesto. If one wanted to learn how to use propaganda and racist speeches in an attempt to gain power, studying My New Order, Hitler's speeches, would probably be the more helpful of the two to read. Mr. Davis was interviewed about this and said that 1, he wasn't Jewish, and 2, that the book he gave Trump was not Mein Kampf, but the book of Hitler's speeches called My New Order. Trump's ex-wife, Ivana, told her lawyer that from time to time Trump would read the book of Hitler's speeches, which he kept in a cabinet by his bed. Later, Trump returned to this subject, saying, "If I had the speeches, and I am not saying that I do, I would never read them." That's weird, right? That he probably did read Hitler's speeches, and worked so hard to deny it. I wonder why. During the 2016 GOP primary race, Trump was criticized for using language reminiscent of Hitler's. In response, Trump repeated some of those words, saying that immigrants were, quote, poisoning the blood of our country. He then mentioned to his audience that he had gotten some criticism for using those words by saying, quote, "They said Hitler said that," and then later saying, quote, "It's true. They're destroying the blood of the country. They're destroying the fabric of our country, and we're going to have to get them out." So, his response to being accused of echoing Hitler's rhetoric was essentially to say, "Yep." According to retired Marine General John Kelly, Trump's chief of staff at the time, Trump asked him, "Why can't you be like the German generals?" Kelly explained to Trump that those generals tried to kill Hitler 3 times and almost pulled it off. Trump did not reconsider his view, saying, quote, No, they were totally loyal to him." Kelly said that Trump expressed disbelief when told that American military personnel swear an oath to the Constitution, not to the president. Kelly said that Trump praised aspects of Hitler's leadership and recalled Trump saying, quote, "Well, but Hitler did some good things." Trump has endorsed Mark Robinson for governor of North Carolina. On a forum on a porn site, Mark Robinson called himself a, quote, black Nazi, and said he wished slavery would return and that he would, quote, certainly buy a few. He's described homosexuality as filth. He's called Muslims invaders, and he said feminism was watered by the devil. In November 2020, Trump hosted a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, and Nick Fuentes. Ye is anti-Semitic. Here are a sampling of quotes that he made before the dinner. "We're not going to be owned by the Jewish media anymore. Obama was actually just another Jewish president. Jewish people have owned the black voice." Fuentes has been labeled a white supremacist by the Justice Department. It has been reported that Trump wasn't aware that Fuentes was going to be at the dinner. However, Trump hasn't denounced or criticized Fuentes as one would expect a reasonable non-racist to do. In a 2020 debate with Biden, Trump told the extremist hate group the Proud Boys, whose founder has a history of anti-Semitic remarks, to, quote, stand back and stand by. In 2017, Trump said there were, quote, very fine people, about a group of protesters that were protesting in favor of Confederate statues, chanting Nazi slogans translated into English. and protesters that ended up killing someone by running over them with a car. In response to that event, GOP Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, in a time when not all elected Republicans worshipped Trump, made a statement, quote, "White supremacy is repulsive. This bigotry is counter to all this country stands for." Trump wouldn't stand for that. He phoned Ryan and screamed that Ryan wasn't, quote, "in the foxhole with me. These people love me. These are my people. And I can't backstab the people who support me." Before the 2016 election, leaders of America's largest neo-Nazi group discussed how Trump's presidential run had brought white supremacism into the mainstream and legitimized their beliefs. In the words of one group commander, quote, "Some of the things that Trump is saying are issues that we've been tackling for years now." The chairman of the American Nazi Party essentially endorsed Trump, saying that, quote, "If Trump does win, it's going to be a real opportunity for people like white nationalists." Twice this past summer, Trump's golf club in Bedminster featured speeches from a convicted January 6th rioter, Timothy Hale Cuccinelli, who has a well-documented history of extreme anti-Semitic and racist rants. He had told his co-workers, quote, "Hitler should have finished the job," unquote. And he published the address of a Jewish man and said that he'd go to his house on a Sabbath. One of those events was personally endorsed by Trump, who said, quote, "All of the people here, you're amazing patriots." Trump repeatedly endorsed a nonprofit group that was founded in direct response to his arrest, and Trump spoke at one of those group's events. On January 6, Hale Cuccinelli stormed the U.S. Capitol, moved barriers protecting the building, waved in fellow rioters, and interfered with an attempted police arrest. Prosecutors presented text messages he sent about the 2020 election, where he used an anti-Semitic slur and accused Democrats of, quote, N-word rigging. The Trump-appointed judge said, quote, "Statements and actions like yours make Jewish people less safe and less confident they can participate as equal members of our society." Conservative activist Ed Martin, a leader of the 2024 Republican National Convention's Platform Committee, praised Hale Cuccinelli as an extraordinary man and an extraordinary leader. The Anti-Defamation League's website has a list of many other white supremacists and anti-Semites that back Trump. Included in that list is white supremacist William Johnson, head of the American Freedom Party, who does more than support Trump. He has actually created the American National Super PAC, which has paid for a series of robocalls supporting Trump for president.